first ever live-action Star Wars show is here, and it's actually good. Naturally, there are more cameos, callbacks, and Easter eggs than you can shake a stick at, so we at ScreenRant have taken it upon ourselves to give you a rundown of some of our favorites.
It is good to restore the natural order of things.
When Disney announced that they would be making a Star Wars show about a bounty hunter, everyone's mind jumped to the most famous of them all, Dog.
How do you win a fight with a woman? We always lose.
Sorry, Boba Fett. Although he's not technically even a Mandalorian, there was always a chance that he'd at least have a cameo in the new show, even after his uncertain fate inside the Sarlacc. When the Mandalorian is walking down to the blacksmith's workshop, about 18.5 minutes into the show, there's a familiar figure lurking in the shadows. He is definitely a bounty hunter, and the colors of his helmet and clothes match those of Boba Fett. Plus, he's got that same telltale dent in his helmet.
He's no good to me dead.
Okay, we know you couldn't have missed that little green troll doll, but we couldn't do a video on the Mandalorian and just leave out the Baby Yoda. What's less obvious is who exactly is this little baby. What we know for sure is that it's definitely not Yoda himself, but it could be his kid. The Mandalorian is set 5 years after the events of the Return of the Jedi. In that movie, Yoda was almost 1,000 years old, but this little member of his yet unnamed species is only 50. 50 years prior to this show, Yoda could have found another of his kind and, mated. Maybe even with Yaddle, spawning this cute mini Yoda. Or it could have been some sort of immaculate conception, and this little guy could be the second coming of Yoda. We don't know how or even if this species mates, so the jury's out until episode 2.
Perhaps it could live many centuries.
Remember Jabba the Hutt's laughing monkey lizard, Salacious Crumb? He himself doesn't appear in The Mandalorian, but a member of his species does. When the Mandalorian is walking through the market after his meeting with Werner Herzog, there is a shot of a Kowakian monkey lizard being roasted on a spit. Behind him, another of his kind is trapped in a cage, watching with horror as his monkey brother is being cooked to perfection. The roasting is a callback to when Crumb first meets Jabba the Hutt. The giant gangster is known for his love of food, and when he met Crumb, he tried to eat him. Crumb evaded the crime boss and made him laugh in the process, so Jabba proposed a deal. If Crumb could make him laugh at least once a day, he would always have a job as his jester. But if he missed a day, IG-11, like IG-88, is a bounty hunting assassin droid. Although he's obviously a force to be reckoned with, Waititi lends some deadpan New Zealand goofiness to the role as he tries to self-destruct over and over.
I will initiate self-destruct. Destruct countdown. No, stop! I will disengage self-destruct initiative.
This was a very quick moment. When the Mandalorian walks into the bar, where he meets Carl Weathers, we get a little peek at a Rodian. You may remember another Rodian named Greedo. You know that blue guy at the beginning of the episode? We don't blame you for not recognizing him, but that's the comedian Horatio Sanz, who was on SNL for 8 years, from 1998 until 2006.
Is that me?
Another, more obvious one is when the Mandalorian is taking this blue guy, Horatio, to his ship. It's far away, and so he needs someone to ferry him. And who should come by but Mr. Brian Posen of The Big Bang Theory and Mr. Show?
Here you are.
Fans of Star Wars and artsy documentaries alike were very surprised when it was announced that Werner Herzog would be playing one of the villains in The Mandalorian. His real reason for accepting the role was the payout. He was having trouble financing his new film about a friend/lover/family member for hire.
This is only a down payment.
Gronk droids have been popping up here and there for ages in Star Wars history. As our main unnamed bounty hunter walks toward Werner Herzog's office, he is led there by a Gronk droid. Right before he goes into the hallway to meet the Gronk and Mr. Herzog, the Mandalorian is met with a retinal scanner. That same scanner appears right in the beginning of Return of the Jedi.
Bo, say 3 POR.
In his search for Little Yoda, the Mandalorian has to tame a blurg so that he can ride it to his destination. The guy teaching him to ride the blurg is none other than Nick Nolte, and he says to him, when he's ready to give up,
Your ancestors rode the great mythosaur.
the mythosaur, despite its name, is no myth, and neither is the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's in one of the cartoon sequences that we see Boba Fett riding the giant pink dinosaur.
Maybe I can help you. I am Boba Fett. The ship you seek is nearby.
What did you think of Episode 1 of The Mandalorian? What does the future hold for that little Yoda? Let us know in the comments, and as always, subscribe to ScreenRant.